First video on the agenda today, I'm going to show you how I package some of these items that I send out. So I've got here a mahogany obsidian preform. I got this finished point from yesterday's video, and I got a preform for a little arrowhead. This is raw chert. Anyway, these are for demonstration purposes. I am going to wrap this one first. I got a request on this video, or a question on how do I prevent this from breaking during shipment. And yeah, this looks like an auction video with a blue background, but I think it's appropriate because it pertains to the auction as well as answering the question. So how do I send off something like this without it breaking? Very good question. I used to struggle with it and make my own packaging, but I went online and looked around for days and days and finally found boxes on Amazon that fit or that my stuff fits into, right? These little boxes here. I used to use, and I still use, the post office small flat rate box for items that don't fit in these other ones. See, it has to be flat rate to save on the shipping. All right, but a lot of times these will suffice. And let's see, what are the measurements? 3.5 by 2 by 1 on this one. This one is a 6 by 4 by 1. Yeah, and you can, I'm going to put a link down below on where to get these on Amazon. But you can just type in box 6 by 4 by 1, 6x 4x1. Type it in and it'll come up with these. You can buy these in bulk. All right, so I use these boxes. I used to use folded up cardboard. You know, just take a piece of cardboard from a shipping box and just fold it up in such a way that it leaves a little bit of a gap in there, and just tape it and do that. And it worked okay. And I put this inside of one of these 6 by 9 manila envelopes. Let's see if that's what that is. Yeah, 6 by 9 manila envelopes. So either put it in this, or you can buy these manila envelopes with the bubbles. Yeah, these are my two preferred envelopes, 6 by 9. And then the flat rate post office envelope for the bigger boxes. Padded flat rate envelope. These are $10.70 or something to send flat rate, and this one flat rate is $10.40. You can actually order these online. They'll ship them to you for free. Of course, you got to pay shipping when you get them at the post office. Anyway, I used to ship these out like this. Okay, and it worked pretty good, but it took me time to cut all these out and make sure that it was stiff enough. And I wasn't sure if there was going to be enough padding in there. I used to put a lot of, you know, plastic bags in here, or bubble wrap, you know, used bubble wrap in here to prevent any squishing, but I still was nervous. So I went and got boxes. And these work better, and they're faster. Yeah, I don't have to cut these out. What I do have to cut out is these little inserts that I put in, these little cardboard inserts. I'll show you how I do that. We start with the little one. No, I was going to start with this one. Now this one doesn't fit all that well in this box, although I might ship it in this box. I don't like the edges being too close to the sides of the box, especially because I have to close this. And these tabs, I don't want them touching the arrowhead when I'm closing it. Like if I close it like this, and I hear a little snap, it means I've either snapped the tip off or a barb off or something. So I don't like it. This box is too small for this. Even though it does fit with a little bit of room to slide around, I don't ship it in this box. I go to the next larger one that I got. This one. And look, a lot of extra space. But you know what? I like it. Yeah. I like it when there's extra space. So yeah, I cut these little inserts out and I make sure that the lines of the cardboard, you can see the lines in it, go the long way. It keeps it more stiff that way. These lines in the cardboard are going the long way on these inserts. That's very important because as you're wrapping, you don't want it to collapse on you. If it's, you know, if the lines are going the other way, it's easy to fold and collapse. So what do I do? How do I wrap this and how do I get it in there and all that good stuff? Well, I use plastic wrap first of all. The regular cling wrap, or I have another bigger roll of this wrap down below. But yeah, what I do is I cut this with a box cutter. Okay, and then I take it and I do this. Make sure it's, you know, wrapped up like that. And then get some tape. Depending on the size of the arrowhead, I use the wide tape or the narrow tape. Cellophane. I like the thin, not the heavy duty, but the thin, cheap stuff. It actually fastens the arrowhead to the cardboard better than the thicker tape. And some of the tape that's called easy something, where it doesn't make that sound like this. It has a nice smooth sound to it. I don't use that tape. I use the tape that makes a lot of noise. That's the first clue that it's very sticky tape. All right, and then I put it in the box. And I don't care if it's the only thing in there. It's worth it to ship it safely with a little bit of extra room, or even a bit of extra room. I take some used bubble wrap. Normally I just use used stuff. Stick it in there. Make sure I got room on the sides there for the flaps. Of course here it doesn't matter. And I check it out. This is going to be too fluffy. Let's see. I make sure it's not too fluffy. Because I don't want any undue pressure on the arrowhead. Yeah, that one's good. And I close it up to test it. I don't tape it up yet. I do the shake test. No noise whatsoever. That's the shake test. It's good to go. So once it's no noise, I close it up and put some tape on it. And then stick it in the manila envelope. I got some tape on here by accident. In this case, I'll just use the regular non-bubble wrap manila envelope. And the 6x4x1 fits in just perfectly with just enough room. All right, and then it's self-sealing, but I do put extra tape on the top and bottom. Yeah, but I write the addresses on first. I write the addresses and then stick it in there. And it goes to the post. It goes through the post office really easily like this by using ground advantage. That they're calling this ground advantage now. It used to be I don't know what is it. Well, first class was an option always, and I'm not sure what this used to be called before. but it's now called Ground Advantage. It has a tracking number just like Priority. It takes about the same amount of time as Priority. And it only costs between $5 and $6 to send something like this. Okay, first class is cheaper, but I've had bad luck with first class. All right, except first class international. If it's international, I send it first class international because I don't think they have Ground Advantage with international. Okay, but just, you know, some people use the post office, some people use UPS, some people use FedEx, whichever you want. I just always use the post office because it's the fastest for me, both in terms of getting to the post office, getting the packaging materials like the flat rate boxes, and as long as I pay for Priority or Ground Advantage, it gets there fast without much fuss. And there's a tracking number. Yeah. All right, so that's how I package this. Simple enough, right? That's how this is how this one is going to go out, just like this. And when you receive it, you're going to go, oh, what do I do now? It's all wrapped up in cellophane. It's so tricky to get it unwrapped. Well, just make sure you got a little box cutter. Take it out like this. Be very gentle. Make sure you don't have a concrete floor below you or even a hardwood floor, and just slowly unravel it. Make sure you don't have anything hard or solid when you're unwrapping this, and voila, you've received your perfectly intact piece. Okay? Very nice. What else can I say about this? That's not good. I'm gonna throw that one out totally. I didn't even see that this had a little cut in it. Yeah. How do I wrap other stuff? Like, if I got bunches of these, let's put this in a safe spot. Gets me nervous. How do I, like, if I want to send out a box of bifaces? Yeah. Well, this is what I do. I go like this. I got some bigger wrap down below. Just hold on. I got a big fat roll down here instead of a little cling wrap roll from the grocery store. I have a very generous friend, Henry, who gave me a bunch of these big rolls of the cellophane wrap. It's very clingy. Okay, and I wrap each an individual biface, and it so happens I have pre-wrapped bifaces all ready to go, and I put these in here like a jigsaw puzzle. Get them in here so they're not all moving around with extra space. Just kind of fit these in here like that. Like so. Very nice. Put in bubbles or a used shopping bag. Sometimes they're not used. Sometimes I sneakily take them from the store by grabbing a bunch of extras. Where are they? See, I'll cut these up into little pieces if I need to. Where are my scissors? Yeah. If it's too much, if one bag's too much, I just cut the bag, and then, yeah, make sure it's nice and full. Yeah, on these, when the bifaces are dull on the sides and stuff, I can compress it quite a bit and not worry about it breaking a tip or a barb off because they're just bifaces. And then I put a piece of tape here, close it up. It goes in either the manila envelope if it doesn't feel too heavy, but in the unbubble manila envelope if it doesn't feel too heavy. If it feels really heavy, I put it in the bubble envelope. Okay? And these fit, coincidentally, very nice in the bubble ones also. Yes, they do. Just perfectly. In case you're wondering. And then I seal it up, self-sealing. And then I put extra tape on the top and bottom seams. This one doesn't have a bottom seam, which is good. Anyway, why do I put the heavier ones in the bubble? Because I found that these corners will get all crunched up really bad if I ship it in just a plain paper. And I'm worried that one of the bifaces is going to be too close to the corner and then get either the tip or the base chipped. You know, if they drop it on the corner. But if it's a bubble wrap one, at least you have a little more cushion. Okay, and sometimes with a heavy, this is pretty heavy, comparatively speaking. Sometimes with the heavier packages, the post office people or the mailman or mailwoman will grab it thinking it's real light, and then they'll go, whoa, that's heavy, dum, 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 and it goes down the hill. Dum, 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 dum. And then they pick it up and it's like, oh, dang, hope it didn't break. It was heavier than I thought. Dang it. So that's why I put the heavier ones in the bubble wrap. How do I know this happens? I don't know. Okay, so what else can I say? When you receive these, you open it up and you go, ooh, bifaces. I always wanted my own bifaces. And that's it. Beautiful. Intact. I use this wrap because they don't shift. The wrap is clingy, so they cling to each other. See that? And I didn't do the shake test, but believe me, it doesn't rattle around when you shake it. When you had the cling wrap on these, I've tried paper, I've tried wax paper, regular paper, that recycled trash bag looking paper, not trash bag, that recycled paper bag looking paper, and bubble wrap, but this is the easiest. I've tried nothing too, just fitting them in there real tight and then putting the packaging around them, but no, you want cling wrap on each and every piece with this kind of stuff. Okay? Yes. So, what about these two? Well, you can use your imagination. No, I won't do that. Let's go over these two. Like I said before, I test them out. This one's too big for that box. But guess what? This one works well. Yeah, so let's do this. Pretend this is very delicate with a nice needle tip and sharp barbs and a base that might snap off just by looking at it wrong. Yeah, just pretend. I know you guys got imagination. So, what I do is, where's the cling wrap? Now, you might ask, why do I use the cling wrap when there's only one piece? What's the sense of using the cling wrap when there's only one piece? It's not rubbing against the other ones, and you don't need padding against the other ones that might be in there with it. What's the use? I do it because of one thing, mainly. It's because I've had guys suggest that I don't use tape directly on the arrowhead because it can deposit and has deposited a goo residue on the stone. And I go, yeah, but I'm using the non-gooey tape. They say, no, it got gooey. You use a non-gooey tape, but for some reason you're the only one in the world that can use non-gooey tape and have it end up being gooey when it gets to the destination. Everyone else can send stuff taped with tape straight, I'm talking about straight to the stone, like that, and tape it down to the cardboard and have it arrive without goo on it. Everybody else can do it, but if I do it, there's going to be a big blob of goo on there. Yeah. Now, I'm exaggerating because I have managed by some miracle sometimes to find the tape that doesn't leave a goo residue. Okay, but it takes me forever to find the right tape. So instead of trying to find the right tape, I can just find any tape I want and wrap it with cellophane, and it doesn't matter. And it saves time. So when you receive your super delicate point, make sure there's no hard materials around, and then slowly pick at it. Where's the end of the cellophane? I hate this just for the same reason as I hate the tapes that get all ruined by when I lose this little tab and they get stuck on here. It's the same feeling. Well, if you're having trouble, you can just grab some scissors. And then slowly unwrap your delicate arrowhead. Make sure there's nothing around that's hard. And you go, ooh, this is getting good. Ah, look at that beautiful needle tip and the sharp barbs and the base. It looks like it'll break if I look at it wrong. Wow. Yeah, that's it. Now, what about the other one? I think you get the idea. Besides, Henry won't like it if I go over 30 minutes on this video. Who's Henry? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He sent me this cellophane. It comes in big fat rolls. That I have enough of this cellophane to last me 5 years minimum. Even if I ship out 20 items a week. Yeah. I used to buy this. You can get this at the grocery store. This cling wrap. Make sure it's cling wrap. That is clingy. They do have wraps that are not as clingy as others. Make sure you get the kind that is going to be clingy. I've bought really cheap rolls and they don't cling as well, and it doesn't work as well for the shipping of bifaces like this. It works okay for shipping of little arrowheads by themselves, the not too clingy cling wrap, but if it's going to be these chunky things, yeah, it needs to cling so these don't rub against each other. And I do the same thing for larger nodules and spalls as well. I wrap them in cling wrap, not paper or bubbles or anything like that, because the cling wrap sticks to itself. All right, so yeah, just use your imagination on this one. I'll wrap it with the same type of wrap. You can hear that. If it makes a good sound like that, you know it's good. Yeah, for shipping. If it's the easy roll stuff, I don't know. But yeah, this is what I do. I make sure there's tension on it. Why? Because when I put the tape on here, I don't want anything moving. And I just leave the extra on the outsides for extra padding. And it fits really nice. A lot of extra room. Yeah, I would send it in that. And it's half the price of a priority flat rate box. Although I used to send them in this kind of stuff. Yeah. I can send up to 9-inch long pieces in this flat rate. Small flat rate. I think this is 9.5 inch. Let's see, what is it? It's 10 inches across, but I need extra room in there. All right, so I can send a 9-inch piece. If it's longer than 9 inches, I have to use a bigger box. Right? I bought some bigger boxes. Let's see if I can get one for you. This one here, these come folded up and you have to assemble them. Let's see if I can get this on video. I'm adjusting the tripod here. All right, let's see. I've done this 1,000 times, but I forget how to do it once the camera is on. Yeah. Anyway, you just fold these up. They don't need any glue or tape. All right. Now, what is the dimension on the inside? Let's just fold this side up. Across. This one is almost 11 inches. So I can send stuff that's a little bit bigger. Okay? And then what I do is I send these priority, but I use the bubble flat rate envelope, padded flat rate envelope. And you can get these for free by ordering them online. Now, oh yeah, dimensions of this. I get these from Amazon too. 9 by 6 by 2. Yeah, 2 inches. 9 by 6 by 2. It'll fit very nicely in the padded envelope. And it's a little bit bigger than the flat rate priority, and then you just send it flat rate with the envelope. Yeah. Sometimes I'll send it with just the box like this. If it's international, I'll send it like this. Make sure it's well padded on the inside. If I send it with just the box like this, but you can send this by itself, and you can send it like this by itself as well. Yeah, you can do that. It's just easier for the post office if they have a bigger surface to put their stickers on when you send this box. They like it better when there's a bigger surface for their stickers that they put on. So, and it adds a little bit of an extra layer of padding. Okay, but you can send these. I don't know about sending this size by itself, although it's probably possible, but I don't know where they're going to put their stickers. So this goes in the manila envelope too, just in case you're wondering. Yeah. If I put an arrowhead in the small box, it just goes in the manila envelope. Okay, same. Okay. I have sent this separately by itself and this separately by itself without an envelope around the outside, and it works well. Yeah, there is barely enough room here for the post office stickers, but international, I don't use this size at all. I put an envelope on it because they need to put the customs form and their sticker on the package, so it needs to be at least this size for international. Okay, I think that's it. Any questions, you can put them in the comment section. When you get these items, just be aware that you've got to make sure there's no items that could potentially make contact with your item and snap off a tip or a barb or even break it in half. If you drop this on a concrete floor, it will break in half. Oh yes. Especially when I start thinning this down. I'm going to thin this down into a nice finished agate basin probably. All right, so there you go. That's it.